to decide things. Very often our decisions are very superficial, and in this video I will give you 5 tips and 5 ways and methods so that you can take better decisions, you can make better decisions in your life. Stay tuned and I will talk to you about this immediately. So the raw fact is that many people that I have spoke lately suffer from this kind of thing that it is called not exactly indecisiveness, but a kind of inability to decide something and stick with it. Okay? And this is a phenomenon that I also struggled in my life, where I would take some decision and in the next day I would change this decision, or I would start implementing actions towards this decision, and I would decide and strongly enter in this path that the decision was taking me, just to completely wake up one day, literally, after maybe a week or maybe a month even, and suddenly I had the exact opposite feeling. For example, let's say if I decided that I want to become athletic and work out and so on, then after a month or 2 or a week, I would wake up and I would have the exact opposite feeling and the exact opposite decision. That what am I doing, and this is stupid, I want to enjoy my life and I don't need to exercise all day, and this is not a life of working out every day or very often or taking it very seriously. Actually, life is more to enjoy, to travel, to go for walks, and then this would be a new decision for me. Again, just to pass one more month and then wake up, or 1 week, and wake up again one morning and think the exact opposite. What am I doing? I'm wasting my life. Why did I quit? No, I envision myself having this fitness level or this very good healthy state, me climbing mountains, me being so fit and so on and so forth. And this is an example. This happens to many people for anything. Diet, work, relationships, and so on and so forth. So it is something like a kind of psychological issue that we face, that we cannot take decisions at all. Well, we are indecisive and we are in front of this moment that we have to decide something in our life and act upon it, and we're like frozen, yes? Or we become very, very motivated, super motivated, and then suddenly it's like one morning we wake up and everything has been turned completely upside down, and we are thinking like what I was thinking, what kind of decision did I take? It was totally wrong. Okay, how can we solve this? The solution is to understand that decision making is something we need to take it seriously. And, for example, it is not something that should be just like that, based only on a momentary feeling. This kind of spark or an intuition that comes momentarily, it is good, it gives you a certain motivation, which is good for the moment, but I will give you 5 strategies and 5 tips to take more seriously decisions, yes, and not be based on these fleeting emotions that change every day, every week, every month, every 2 months, we don't know. Even if they would change these feelings every 1 year, imagine that you started a big project and after 1 year you suddenly feel to quit because you feel differently now. There are people like this, that they follow their feelings and so they cannot have a straight path leading them somewhere, and they suffer from this kind of messy life because they are changing all the time. So let's see what are these 5 things that we need to understand and we need to implement in order to be able to take seriously a decision and stick to it. So the first thing that you have to take in consideration, and the first thing that you have to put down as a practice, is this. You need to consider what is at stake in connected with your decision that you want to take or that you just took. What is at stake? What really you are trying to achieve here with this decision? how important is the thing that you want to achieve. Here you need to use what is called the negative and positive motivation, because yes, it is possible that after some time you will wake up one morning and you will have another feeling completely. But if you have realized what it is that you are searching for, and I will go back to the simple example that you wanted to change your physique and to become more fit, if really this is what you wanted and to become more healthy, and you did this first thing and you put down this goal and you say, here, what is at stake? Here at stake is my health. Here at stake is my physique, my physical body, and my health and my fitness. How much do I really want it? How you can answer this question, how much do you want it? You need to use this positive and negative motivation. For example, okay, let's say I don't achieve this goal. So where I will be in 10 years if I continue as I am without trying to manifest this goal and without following this decision really? Where will I arrive? If the answer is, well, it will not be so bad, I will be like normal like everybody else and I'm okay with it, yes, maybe your decision is not so important. But if your answer will be, well, I will arrive in this place that I don't want to arrive, you have to write this down and think, okay, that's for sure, I don't want to arrive there, and the way to not arrive there is to implement this decision and start using my physical body in a way that will empower myself. And then you need to use the positive motivation. Positive motivation is like this: if I do follow this decision, where I will arrive in 1, 2, 5, 10 years, and you need to see yourself in the future if you will follow this decision that you want to take or not. And you need very clearly to write down the answers to these things. After you write the answers, you have to have these answers always available for you. So one morning that you will wake up and you will see that you have completely different feeling and you don't want to do anything, you just want to go for coffee or to enjoy your life and so on. In this moment, you need to check what you wrote as a positive and negative motivation. And checking this, remembering exactly what you were thinking, and checking this with what you have written there. And exactly what you have written there, if in this moment that you don't want to do this, it answers to you that, yes, I know that I will arrive there, but I don't really want to arrive. I don't care really if I will arrive there. Seriously, if you seriously can answer this that you don't care, then you can change. Okay, so the first thing you can do, the first tip is write down where you will arrive in the future following or not following this decision specifically. What is at stake here? What really you want to achieve? The next thing you have to do to help you really decide and stick with your decision is to collect facts. This especially helps you if you are not sure about the alternatives, right? For example, should I do that or not? Should I follow this or not? Should I go for fitness or should I just continue living normally, enjoying my normal average life without necessarily pursuing some kind of higher fitness state? We took this example, right? You need to assemble and collect facts. So many concrete, objective facts that you have data that help you make a decision. For example, you can collect facts about nutrition, about your body, about what it means your body to grow old, about what fitness does to you specifically through research, through other people who have done this, and you need to collect facts. The more facts that you will have written down, the more will clarify how good or not so good is what you need. If, for example, you collect a lot of facts that are positive, let's say, towards your decision that you are going to make, this will strengthen very much your logic, your mind, which says that you should do this. If you have, let's say, a list of 100 objective reasons and facts that say that to become more fit will help you in 1,000,000 ways in your life and in many areas, for example, maybe in your work, also in your relationships, in your psychology, in spiritually, so many facts, and you have this written in a paper. When it will be this difficult moment, or comparing with the other alternative, and you collect facts, you will be comparing the facts, and it will be very easily for your logical mind to choose, to see what is really good for you, and this will help you proactively to not enter in this kind of allowing your other side, your weak side, to come out and start doubting your decisions. So again, this is some kind of work you have to do, because you may hear now this video and think like, yeah, sure, very nice idea, I will have it in mind. And the most possible, of course the majority of people, they are doing like this, is you will never really collect facts. And because we prefer to have this debate in our head all the time, and this becomes a reason why we don't really decide and move towards the path that we want and stick with a fixed mindset, because we are not always sure and we have this dilemma. And when we will be sure, we'll decide. But to be sure, you need to use this, like these tips that I'm giving you, these methodologies. So collect facts about what you want, write them down exactly as you did in the first tip, yes, and have it always available for you. And even if you will do this every day, in the beginning at least, and you will read these facts, it will help you tremendously to decide. Another thing that usually keeps us in this kind of hazed state, we are not sure what we want, we cannot really decide, or we are shifting from one decision to the opposite and so on, is the fact that we don't consider really all the alternatives to our decision. Yes? And if we don't have this information as well, what are the alternatives? Not only one alternative, but generally all the alternatives if possible, because there is a possibility that there are other alternatives also very good. And then if there are, in the case that you find some difficulty in your path, you may really consider an alternative. An alternative could be better for you or more easy. But many times this becomes like the reason to stuck and to hold ourselves back by ourselves, because we have not considered the alternatives. And then when we start doubting our decision, we use this as an excuse. I don't know, I'm confused, I don't know what else to do. I thought I want this, but now I feel I don't want it, so I'm not sure what I want, you know, I'm confused, and so on. So this helps you to enter in the victim role, in the victim state. If you have considered before all the alternatives, and again you have a list of all the possible alternatives to the main decision that you were inspired and came to you, then you will, this will really all the alternatives, you will check this, and then chances are that you will say, what are the alternatives? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't really want to go there. So I don't really have a choice here, literally. And of course, if you do this, this will help you proactively again to not enter in this doubting phase very deeply. Because the truth is that if we start doubting ourselves and we go very deep in this doubt, usually it takes over us psychologically. But if you will use these methodologies, it will help you to not arrive there. Okay, so find and concretely clarify and write down what are the alternatives of your choice. Another thing that will give you clarity is to identify from the beginning, before you fully decide, all the pros and cons and risks of your choice. Many times, because we don't have a very good analysis in our mind, we base our decision basically in an instinctive, impulsive, emotional or intuitive feeling. Yes? And when we start doubting, because we decided intuitively and emotionally, we are based again in intuition and in our emotion. So before you do this, before you arrive in intuition and in emotion, it will be very, very good for you to write down first the pros, all the reasons why this is good for you, what will give you, okay? Not in the future, generally. Why this is good, all the pros. This is good for this. You can also use the facts, if you gather facts. What are all the pros? Then, of course, for everything there are also cons. For example, working out, the cons are, for example, spending time, energy, money, sweat, and maybe lose some time from, slacking off with my friends, drinking beers, changing my diet. Maybe it's hard for me. It will be a period of adaptation for my body. It will be hard. You need to write everything down, because when you decide, if you have decided based on all the pros and cons and all the risks, if there are some risks, if there is a risk, you need to put it down before. Why? If you will decide and you have put all this down before you decide, then your decision will be based on this very clear picture of everything. And then chances are, when you will start doubting yourself, your mind will not use the possible cons against you, because you are aware already of these cons and you decided knowing already that there are some cons and some risks, right? And in combination with all the other what I told you before, this will be strengthening. What our unconscious mind is doing is that it uses this fact, the fact that there are some cons always and some risks, but we didn't think about them. So when the doubt comes, the mind is very cunning and clever and uses these cons to convince us that you see, you should stop now and maybe go to the other side, because there are these cons, these reasons that are bad for you. And then it will make sense for you. It will be like a new revelation for you. It will seem to your mind, oh my God, yes, this is true. I never thought about this. But this is the key, to have thought about this before. Also in business, many times, if they ask somebody to make a presentation for a new business that he wants to present to receive funding and so on, many times they ask him, they present cons. They play the devil's advocate in front of him and tell him, and what if you fail? What if this? What if that? What if everything goes wrong? What you will do then? And the entrepreneur has to answer all these negative scenarios, how he will solve it, how it will not stop him, how in any way it is good to invest in this business. And if he has enough good answers, then everybody is convinced. Because always problems will appear, and I'm telling you, there will be this moment for sure that you will start doubting yourself. If you have thought the cons and the pros and the risks before, your mind will be prepared with answers. And the last but not least, the most important thing that I want to tell you and tip is to know and to put very deeply in your mind and in your whole body a simple fact, that a decision is not about a decision, is about an action, is about the life that you are living, not in your mind, but with your body in this reality that we live. So a decision is only an aspect of what you really want. What you really want through a decision is some reality, okay? So the decision is just a small part, and you need to devalue the importance of your inner dialogue and your mind. You need to understand, a decision is to be taken in a short period of time, and then it's all about the rest, which is action. So I need to become a person who lives more with action, with reality, and not in my head with logic, with ideas, with debates, and with a lot of theory, philosophy. Yes, because if you are a philosopher, chances are that always you will find also the other side. For one thing that you see white, your mind will find for sure another black. For something positive, you will always find something negative. But in the end of the day, it's not about this. You cannot have a perfect idea or a perfect scenario in your head and then go and implement it very easily, because it has no cons, and no difficulties and no risks at all. No, you need to understand life is about action and about the reality of life. So the decision is to be just taken in one moment, and the rest is about action. So when you will wake up one morning and you will be demotivated and your mind will be telling you to think about all the negative stuff, you will remind yourself, it is not about this, I have done this already, I have already decided. I know already that this will be happening. My problem is in another level, obviously. Yes, there is a part of me that doesn't want to get up from the bed or wants to stop. What is the real reason? It's not all this that the mind says. Probably, or I'm afraid, or I meet some difficulty and I start feeling overwhelmed and scared. Usually this is the reason. We don't trust anymore ourselves and we start feeling we are not so confident anymore, or we can be physically tired, so we need to rest. If it is matter of tiredness, you simply need to rest. If it is matter of psychology, you need to go to a mentor, to ask friends, other people who are in the same path. You need to empower your psyche and your psychology. We had in this moment a very interesting light situation. The light just went off, and with this it is like the sign for the finish of this video. If you want to study all these things very seriously and master decision making, I will put in the description of the video our school and our events. I invite you also to follow us in Instagram. I will put the links there. We have trainings and we have online schools and physical trainings. I'm leading an academy of manifestation and of how to lead ourselves to our destination. I invite you, if you want more seriously to work with yourself, to take this path, and you will find all the necessary links. You can contact me and ask me more questions also if you want. That's it. Stay hungry for knowledge and motivation. Stay strong and learn how to take decisions, how to choose and implement. I will see you with another video. Until then, bye bye. Stay strong.